Hi everybody. I know it has been a little bit since I've made a video and I apologize. Life, it's been crazy. It's been good, but time gets away from us. So, hello. I am just gonna sit down and chat a little bit today about some stuff that has been running through my brain and also um, hopefully just share some things that help other people. Um, I also apologize. I did not put makeup on or anything. I'm kind of tired today, so you're just getting me a will natural. I wanted to do this video because today is the 25th anniversary of my mom passing away, which I can't believe it's already been 25 years. And with that comes a lot of feelings. As you know from my past videos, my mom was the person who introduced us to the Jehovah's Witnesses. She was a very staunch witness, pioneer, heavy believer. But at the same time, she was a very good mom. I know, unfortunately, a lot of people had bad experiences with a mom who was a witness, and that really was not my case in my situation. She was truly put her family first. If we were sick or something, she stayed home. She didn't make us go to the meetings and that sort of thing. She didn't start pioneering or anything till all the kids were adults because she felt that her responsibility was to be at home as with us and for as long as she could. So it comes with a very mixed feeling around this time every year. It's a lot of stuff is hard to reconcile. I didn't wake up until long after she had passed, and so I never had the chance to have any kind of transparent conversation with her about my non-belief anymore. And as a matter of fact, I was disfellowshipped the first time when she passed away, and instead I felt a lot of guilt and pressure to come back so that I could see her again in the new world. And that was a lot to reconcile years ago. And now I am in a place where I don't think about it all the time. I don't dwell on the fact that I didn't get that chance with my mom, but that subconscious part of my brain around this time every year, I start having a lot of dreams and thoughts about just if I could have had a conversation with her. And part of that stems from so many changes happening right now in the organization, with the beards and the not needing to have as much time that you count and etc. I mean, the fact that it's now basically televangelism, the landscape has changed so much. I often wonder what would she think about where it's gone, and would she still be quite as committed? So, I'll never know the answer to that, and it's okay. It's just one of those things that I think about now and again. With that, I think part of the grief process is always people think about someone passed away and now you grieve them, which is true in your memories and the what could have been and any of those things that come up. But honestly, it's more than that, especially when you do wake up from a cult. Grief process is encompassing kind of all different parts of your life. You have to let go of the person that you even used to be, and you grieve that in a manner of speaking. But then, one of the biggest things that people would ask me, or do ask me, what was one of the biggest challenges of getting out of the cult? And my answer is not knowing all the answers anymore. As a witness, you are taught that you literally have the answer to everything: the meaning of life, the reason for suffering, what happens when you die, everything that people wonder about in life naturally, we were told we had the answers. And there was no doubt, you just did. That was a fact. And so when you wake up, you have to go, oh, wait, maybe that isn't the right answer. Maybe I have to find a different answer. And along that pathway, personally, I found in some instances, there is no answer. There are certain things I don't know, and become okay with that. But then as I did that, and I'm sure some of you can relate, then you go through a re-grief of those people that you lost, because up until that point for myself, you know, I was still kind of hanging on to the idea of being able to see them again. And all the JW propaganda with those very vivid images and stories, and that hope of one day perfect, one day forever, one day see those people again. It's something that is, I think most witnesses, that keeps a lot of them in, because they hang on to it so tightly, the idea and the hope that they're going to see a specific person again. I think it's a real shame, especially when it's somebody who loses a child. They are kind of tethered then even tighter to that organization, because it's like it's held over your head. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, and if you don't continue to financially and in every other way support this organization and believe with your whole heart, you're never going to see your loved one again. And when that's the case with a parent and child, I really don't know how some of those parents wake up, let alone deal with that grief afterwards. I will share, just for those who are maybe not ever JWs, the belief that witnesses have. They believe that Armageddon is going to come. Jesus is going to destroy all the wicked people. It will only be righteous people, aka only Jehovah's Witnesses left on earth. And then everyone who's ever died will slowly start coming back to life on a paradise earth. They will hear the ministry of the witnesses. Those who choose to stay at the end of 1,000 years are kind of good. Like, there's going to be a paradise earth and they live forever. At the end of that 1,000 years, those resurrected ones and others who decide not to will then be kind of destroyed forever. It's a very interesting concept. I have another video about all the holes you can poke in that, but that's just a brief summary so you understand that when someone dies, you think, oh my goodness, I don't have to go to heaven. I'm going to be able to stay right here on earth. I'm going to welcome that person back. It's going to kind of be like we literally picked up right where we left off, only in a perfect circumstance. So in some ways, I feel like the witness belief is even more difficult to let go of, because you can visualize that. A lot of people talk about heaven, but that is still kind of a whatever you want to believe concept. Some different ideas of heaven appeal to different people. Whereas an earthly paradise, you can literally almost see that now in some parts of the earth where it's kind of untouched and beautiful, or you have a great park you go to or whatever. It's much more attainable mentally and emotionally to visualize yourself in that circumstance, welcoming back that loved one. And so I think for a lot of us to let go of that, and to then be okay with saying, I don't know, is more difficult and complicated. And I'll just say, I think those of us who do it, I think it's, or have done it, or are doing it, there's a piece of bravery and courage that it takes that I don't know that everybody has. So all of that kind of comes up at this time of year. And I do have JW propaganda literature examples that I will show. So trigger warning, anybody that doesn't want to see it again. This one is from the Revelation book. This is their depiction of what will happen when people are brought back. So you can see it's like gravestones back there in the back corner. And then it's all these people being reunited, and even have like the little girls back there who obviously they're kind of coming from the grave. So the guess is that there may be, like I talked about, children who had passed away coming back to meet their parents. So they invoke all this emotion, and they also try to capture like all different, this is one of the times you'll see diversity because they're trying to appeal to all different races with this. And then here's another one too. So it's kind of like, you know, people have been married for a long time and probably a spouse died and then they came back and they're together again. And it's just, you know, that's this beautiful setting. It's paradise. There are waterfalls and birds. And so because of it being something that is, like I say, you can visualize it because you already see that sort of beauty around us at times in different areas of the world. It's not as difficult to envision. And so when you have to step away, or you decide to step away and you go, well, that's not true, then what is? It is a whole nother process of grieving. Not even grieving like, well, it is partly grieving like I probably am not going to see that person ever again, but also is the grieving process of like, now what? Now what do I believe? Now I have to go and like figure out from scratch what I actually believe in. And that is the part that takes a lot of courage. It's very easy to kind of jump into other mainstream beliefs to try to make yourself feel happy, toxic positivity, whatever you want to call it. I think anybody should believe whatever they want when it comes to any kind of religion or non-religion. I believe that as long as it's not harming another person, then you should be able to have whatever belief if it brings you comfort. Personally, for myself, I took a lot of time and I explored what other cultures believe, what other religions believe. And, you know, mainstream kind of Christianity all believe in that similar idea of heaven, which is kind of what witnesses teach, except for rather on earth, it's in heaven. And if that's what you believe, you totally are entitled to. Personally, for myself, as I've discussed in other videos, that is not what I personally believe. So for me to get to a point of actually really truly letting go and being okay with that was a challenge, but also in its own way brought a sense of peace. However, I am still human. I still have emotion. And like I say, my mom was a great lady. So around this time of year, I always kind of go through ebb and flows. And this last couple of years, I've missed her in a different way because it brings up, like I say, all those things of having to reconcile. So kind of wanted to just share that. I think if you do run into other XJWs and they are awake and they're on their path, I hope that you show them some respect and affection for their courage and their bravery to sometimes break generational ties of belief, and also for being humble enough to say, I don't have all the answers, and that's okay. It's okay to live my life, to be a good person, and to do what I can to help other people, and not have to tell you that I have all the answers to everything based on what I learned as a child and was handed down to me, based on different books I read, whatever the case. Just the fact that somebody says I don't know, that's okay. And they deserve, I think some of those people deserve as much respect as anybody else because they're willing to say they don't know. So that's it. It's pretty brief. Like I say, I'm sorry I couldn't find my actual camera, so quality of this video probably not the best. Makeup list because I was crying a little bit earlier. It was a happy, good, cathartic cry. And now I'm gonna go make dinner and move on with the day. And I hope everybody out there has a great, wonderful, cult-free day.